We often tell the story of modern history as a clean, logical progression. It's a comfortable narrative, a straight line of brilliant inventors and calculated engineering, leading us directly to the technology in our pockets. But look closer, and a chaotic web starts to overwrite that line. Our current world wasn't built solely by logic. It was heavily influenced by people relentlessly trying to alter their own consciousness. This web began to branch rapidly in the 1950s and 60s with the spread of LSD. Lysergic acid diethylamide is a potent hallucinogenic compound derived from ergot fungus that causes significant shifts in perception and a sense of expanded awareness. As people used these substances to dissolve their creative and societal boundaries, the pursuit of mind-altering experiences became the hidden engine driving major leaps in popular music, computing, and even covert military strategy. To understand the digital tools we use today, we have to account for our long-standing obsession with escaping ordinary reality. By the mid-1960s, the psychedelic experience had outgrown the capabilities of acoustic instruments. Musicians were returning from hallucinogenic trips with ideas for sounds that simply didn't exist in the physical world of wood and wire. The Beatles and contemporaries began using the recording studio as a creative instrument, layering backward tape loops and innovative vocal processing to build kaleidoscopic soundscapes. The direct technological answer to this demand for alien textures was the Moog synthesizer. This electromechanical system used oscillators to shape sound through voltage. This interface utilized an overwhelming grid of knobs and patch cables to connect modules, allowing musicians to bypass physical instruments and enter a realm of limitless possibility. By patching these modules to replicate the drifting, non-linear patterns of a drug-induced experience, musicians turned electronic circuitry into a physical tool for exploring the psychedelic state. This drive for sonic expansion led to Tonto, or the original new timbral orchestra. It was a massive, room-sized modular synthesizer built to push the absolute limits of electronic sound. Artists like Stevie Wonder used Tonto to fuse their soulful musical roots with unprecedented experimental dimensions. They were no longer just playing melodies, they were sculpting immersive, three-dimensional environments of sound. In the 1980s, Japanese technology democratized this process through programmable rhythm machines. These devices used a step sequencer, a row of buttons representing beats in a measure, that allowed anyone to program precise mechanical loops. Producers eventually combined these precise electronic beats with rapid classical-style arpeggios and the empathogenic effects of the drug MDMA. MDMA is a synthetic drug, known as ecstasy, that induces intense emotional closeness and euphoria. This fusion created rave culture, a global movement using repetitive electronic music to induce communal trance states and absolute interconnectedness among thousands of people. The synchronization of these precise electronic loops with the physiological effects of the drug turned the dance floor into a functional system for generating and sharing human emotion. While musicians were building new worlds of sound, the United States government was busy trying to weaponize the same altered states. CIA programs like MKUltra and Project Stargate spent decades investigating whether hallucinogens or psychic phenomena could be used for Cold War espionage. They were specifically interested in remote viewing, the purported ability to see and describe distant, classified locations using only the mind. This period of searching for hidden connections mirrored a major shift in physics called string theory. This is the hypothesis that the universe isn't made of solid particles, but of infinitesimally small, vibrating strings of energy that resonate like musical notes. From military intelligence to quantum physics, the late 20th century saw a massive, concerted effort to look past the physical surface of our world and chart the invisible, vibrating forces that allegedly hold it together. Decades of this technological evolution have finally brought us to an era of digital perfection. We can now compute, record, and play back sound with flawless mathematical precision. But we've discovered a paradox. Musicians now use incredibly complex software specifically to degrade their audio. They pay for plugins that simulate the hiss of old tape machines, the crackle of dusty vinyl, and the distortion of vintage amplifiers. This is a deliberate search for the analog soul. It is the recognition that human warmth and character aren't found in mathematical precision, but in the beautiful, unpredictable flaws of the physical world. We began this transition toward digital perfection in the 1980s with the first personal computers that utilized a graphical user interface, a system that allowed humans to navigate a machine using icons and a mouse, rather than just lines of code. Ultimately, we don't use our technology to achieve cold, flawless results. We use it to build mirrors, imperfect, vibrating tools that reflect the chaotic and deeply human soul of our own experience.